Hi, my name is Lilianne Klein. I'm a public speaker, an actor, and an educator. There's different reasons for stage fright. Anything from feeling underprepared or sharing your opinion. I used to be really scared to share my opinions. I was scared of being judged or on everything, of being vulnerable in front of people, of being judged for what I looked like, for the tone of my voice, for the content of what I was talking about. I was scared of sounding stupid, uneducated, and lack of thought going into it. People are scared of public speaking because they're scared of being disapproved of being vulnerable in front of others. When you're speaking publicly, you have to be prepared. You have to know what it is that you want to share. You have to know the opinions that you have so that you can have a conversation with your audience. It's knowing your audience. It's being prepared to speak with others. It's not about yourself. The minute that it's about yourself is when you get very scared and tensions rise. And one of the tools that I've used in order to help battle those tensions that rise up in everybody when you're doing public speaking is the Alexander technique, which is what we're going to talk about today. Francis Matthias Alexander started the Alexander technique in 1869. He was from Tasmania, Australia, and he was a Shakespearean actor. And he found, the reason why he started the technique is that he found that he was losing his voice while he was in the middle of performance. And it kept happening to him, but only when he was on stage performing in front of an audience, never in his day-to-day life. So he tried all the normal things, going on vocal rest, drinking teas, and all of that stuff, and it kept happening. And he wondered why it was happening since he was on his voice. But in fact, he decided to look in the mirror for 3 years. And by looking in the mirror, he noticed a bunch of habits that he was doing that was causing him to tense up and and create tension in his whole body, not just his voice. So it was in his back. He was arching his back. He was tensing up his legs. He was putting his neck back when he was speaking. And all of those things were closing off the channel of where the voice flows so that it couldn't flow freely anymore. The first theory that Alexander spoke about was the theory of endgaming, or in common terms, having no expectations. This is obviously really hard to do when you're in front of an audience, because when you're in front of an audience, you want to impress them. You want them to applaud. You want them to think. You want to make them feel something. But the minute that you have no expectations, and all of that brings up a lot of tension and a lot of pressure on the performer or the public speaker. The idea, very simply, is that if you don't have any expectations, then you can relax. And we're going to do an exercise to illustrate that right now. This is Amber. Hello, Amber.
Hello.
Amber, this is a ball. It's a regular ball. I'm going to give it to you. And now I would like for you to give it a couple tosses up in the air. Okay. Great. And now, if it goes out of your hand, let it fall to the ground.
Okay.
So tell me about that experience. What was that like for you?
It felt awkward.
Oh, okay. Why did it feel awkward?
I wanted to grab it.
Okay, that's really a strong observation. So notice now, how do you feel? Are you okay? Are you broken? Did anything hurt?
No, I'm
okay,
fine.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Does it look like the ball is okay?
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, so notice that even though the ball fell, everybody's fine. Nothing happened. It's just a ball. Who cares? So now that's the whole point of giving up expectations and what we're trying to do with the Alexander technique. So now what I want you to do is, I'm going to give this ball back to you.
Okay.
And you're going to toss it up a couple more times and let it fall. And when you let it fall, just don't have any expectations about whether or not you're going to catch it or whether you're going to let it fall. And if it falls, laugh it off. Ha ha!
Okay. Ha ha!
Excellent. And how did that feel?
Freeing.
Good. Great job. One of the most vital principles in the Alexander technique is relaxation of the whole body. What's interesting about the Alexander technique is that unlike relaxation in yoga or meditation or anything else where you're only looking inside yourself and you often have your eyes closed, in Alexander technique, the entire point is to have an awareness at the same time, both of what is going on inside your body and outside your body. So most of the exercises that we do in Alexander technique, especially after we figure out what's going on inside of our bodies, we do with our eyes open. In order to have this the full awareness of everything that's going on, is that you want to have a really neutral spine. You want to have your feet planted into the ground, that you feel your toes and your heels really, the roots into the earth. You want to feel like a string coming up from your head so that your head is free on top of your neck, and so that your back is free to open and expand and take in air, and so that your voice can flow freely all the way up from the tips of your toes up through the top of your head. All right, Amber. So look forward, and with no preparation at all, this is the line I want you to say. If music be the food of love, play on.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Great. And now we're going to take a minute to get into neutral stance. So what I want you to do is make sure that, first of all, you're going to start from your feet. Make sure that your heels feel connected into the ground, that your toes are spread, that you have a little string coming up from the top of your head, that you feel really tall, that you're breathing in, that you can breathe from your belly and also breathe into your back at the same time, that your eyes are open, that you're seeing the world around you. And is it too much?
No, I just need to clear the space.
You're doing great. All right, so do your feet feel in the ground? Do you feel loose and you can give a little wiggle?
Yeah.
Ha.
Ha.
Great. So now you're going to look again. Be super aware of the space here. You can look around. You don't have to look at me in order to hear me. So you look all around, take in all of the spaces, all the sounds, all the creaks, all the light in the space, the temperature of the room. Be very aware. Make sure that your neck is long, and yes, that's beautiful. Wow. Okay. And now you're going to breathe. Remember to breathe. Mm-hmm. That's great. And when you're ready, with no expectations, say, if music be the food of love, play on.
If music be the food of love, play on.
Great. If you're somebody who often has to speak in front of an audience or perform in front of an audience, the Alexander technique, long-term study of the Alexander technique, can definitely be a huge benefit. It's a tool that you can use to manage anxiety, stress, stage fright, all those things that make speaking in front of people really scary to do. And what it will give you is a renewed sense of self, connection, relaxation, and no expectations, and therefore success.